Dear students, see last time in lesson number 9, that is ray optics, we discussed about a lens, okay, refraction by a lens. Then we talked about refraction by a thin lens, okay, and we also discussed about equivalent focal length of a combination of lens. Okay, we also saw how the image is formed when object is placed in front of a convex lens at different position, and similarly we have to see for the concave lens also. Okay, so that was the major more theoretic part of this lesson, which are very important topics. Now next we have to see some of the optical phenomena because of the refraction and reflection of the light. Okay, now earlier in this lesson we discussed about refraction of a light by prism. We also derived the equation of refractive index of a material of a prism. Now today we start with the dispersion of light. Okay, today we start with the now see, we are familiar with the 7 colors of the, we know the white light is made up of 7 colors, so that is due to dispersion of light. Okay, now suppose there is a prism, now there is a slit. See, we allow incident beam of light to fall on a prism like this, so it will divide into 7 colors due to dispersion. Okay, we know red is at the top and violet. We are familiar with your, okay, see the violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So red is at the top and violet is at the bottom. Now because see the refractive index of red light is minimum. Okay, now from this we get a useful information. We know equation N is equal to C by V. Now see the red has minimum refractive index, bending is least, so the speed will be maximum. Okay, so speed or wavelength. Why? Because we know the formula V is equal to lambda F. Okay, so speed of the red color will be maximum. That's why we know the traffic signal, okay, are of the red light. Okay, traffic signal are of the red color. Okay, and see the violet refractive index is maximum. Okay, and see the refractive index is maximum. V is equal to again C by N. N is more, so speed will be less. Okay, that also is a useful phenomena that we'll see in lesson number 10. Okay, so splitting of white light into its constituent color is called dispersion of light. We can write like this. White light into its constituent is called okay, splitting of white light into its constituent color is called dispersion of light. See the red will be at the top and violet will be bottom. Now see, this is dispersion of a light due to prism, but suppose we keep two prism inverted like this, and again a beam of light is allowed to fall on it. Now see, due to dispersion it will be divided into, see, spectrum red and violet. Now this is the original direction. Okay, this is the original direction. Now again, see when it is incident on a second prism which is kept inverted with respect to the first one, see they will recombine, and what will get a white light again. Okay, this is called recombination of light. Okay, again we can prove that these two rays are parallel. Okay, so this is about dispersion and recombination of the light. Now see some of the optical phenomena we see in the day-to-day life is a rainbow. Okay, see rainbow you studied in the 8th standard also, in the science, then you studied in the 10th standard, now again in the 12th standard. Now this is a phenomena taking place because of the reflection, total internal reflection, and refraction of light. Okay, this is a phenomena taking place because of the reflection, total internal reflection, and refraction of light. See two type of rainbow. One is a primary rainbow. Now primary rainbow you must all have watched in the monsoon. See red at the top and violet at the bottom. Okay, now see in primary rainbow reflection, total internal and refraction of light takes place. In a secondary rainbow, see it is inverted. Red, violet will be at the top and red at the bottom. See in primary rainbow, in secondary rainbow, see the total internal reflection, refraction of light takes twice, and total internal reflection also is 2 times. Yeah, so this is about the rainbow. Now next we have to see about the scattering of light. Now see, in earlier standard you studied about Tyndall effect. I think somewhere in the chemistry also you come across. Okay, now see the scattering of light is similar to that only. See when sunlight or sun rays, okay, are incident on atmospheric particles. Okay, see the part of the light absorbed and remaining light re-radiated in different directions. This is called okay. See when sunlight or sun rays fall on or incident on a atmospheric particle, part of the light is absorbed and remaining light is re-radiated in different direction. See that this is called scattering of the light. Okay, scattering ગુજરાતી meaning તમારા બધા ઘણા બધા માટે સારી રીતે લાગુ પડે છે, રખડવું. So scattering is of light is when sunlight falls on the atmospheric particles or molecules. See the part of the light is absorbed and remaining light is re-radiated in different direction. This is called scattering of the light. Now how much scattering takes place depend on the ratio alpha. See the size of atmospheric particle, that is dimension. Okay, upon wavelength of incident light. Okay, see the how much scattering will take place depend ratio of the dimension of the atmospheric particle. Okay, this is denoted as A, this is denoted as A lambda. Okay, alpha is ratio. Now see two type of scattering. First is a Rayleigh scattering, and second is a Mie scattering. Okay, now see the amount of scattering depends on two factors. One is the dimension of the atmospheric particle we call as A, and second is the wavelength of the incident line. Now see first case, when A is very less compared to lambda. Okay, A is very less compared to lambda. Okay, see the Mie Rayleigh scattering. Takes place. Okay, see as I told, see the how much scattering will take place depend on the ratio, dimension of the atmospheric particle and wavelength of the incident line. First, when A is very less compared to lambda, see the Rayleigh scattering takes place. See the Rayleigh scattering is proportional to 1 upon 4th power of the incident wavelength. Okay, Rayleigh scattering is proportional to, inversely proportional to 4th power of incident wavelength. Now see what are the phenomena or what are the effect of the Rayleigh scattering. See during the daytime, see scattering of blue color is maximum. Just now we have seen in Vibgyor there are 7 colors. See during the daytime, see the scattering of blue color is maximum. See that is about 8 to 9 times. See right now we do not have to give the proof of this. Okay, the scattering of blue color takes place maximum. That is 8 to 9 times than the other ones. That's why see the sky appears blue. This is taking place during the daytime. Now at the time of sunrise and sunset, okay, at the time of sunrise and the sunset, okay, red color of sunlight okay, see the scattering of red color takes place, man. That's why sky appears reddish. Okay, so there are two phenomena, two important phenomena due to Rayleigh scattering. See during the daytime the blue color is scattered most, see 8 to 9 times, so that's why the sky appears blue. And at the time of sunrise and sunset, see the red color scattering takes place maximum. See that's why the sky appears reddish. Now this is about the Rayleigh scattering, okay, in which the dimension is very less compared to this. Now secondly, when E is large compared to lambda, okay, Mie scattering. Now see, okay, A is the size of the dimension of the atmospheric particle. Now, see where the size of the atmospheric particle is maximum. See all the light falling on the atmospheric particle is reflected. Okay. So all 7 colors from the white light combinedly are reflected. Now, see we know the white light is made up of 7 colors. All collectively all 7 colors are reflected. That's why the total white light is reflected. So then in that case the Mie scattering takes place. Now see cloud appears white. Okay, cloud appears white. See, that is due to mist scattering. Okay, cloud appears white. That is mist scattering. Okay. Now see in this mist scattering, one diffused scattering takes place. Why? Because the size of the particle is become very large, so all the light falling on it is reflected back. So that's why we say the cloud appears white. So this is a phenomena as a result of the mist scattering. Two type of scattering we have talked of. Okay, one is a realized scattering and second is a mist scattering. So this is about the scattering of light. Now see next we have to see about the optical instruments. Now here we have to study two optical instruments. One is a microscope and second is a telescope. Now see microscope. One is a simple microscope which uses one lens, and compound microscope which uses two lenses. Okay, now see the microscope and telescope are important optical instrument that we have to study. Microscope used in the biology laboratory, okay, to study the see the microorganisms, and telescope, you know, it is used to for study of celestial objects like stars and the planet. Now see, microscope is of two types. One is a simple microscope and second is a compound microscope. Now see, the simple microscope uses one convex lens, okay, whereas compound microscope we use two lenses. Now see, in simple microscope also there are two positions. First, see the image is at the infinity. Now we have seen the image is formed by a convex lens. See, when the object is within the f of a convex lens, okay, the image is formed at the infinite. Image is formed on the same side of the lens. See, when the object is placed within the f and optical center of a convex lens, see what we can see, the first ray parallel to the principal axis. After refraction, it will pass through f on the other side. See, when the ray passes the optical center, see, it will travel in a straight line. Now what we see, they are not meeting, but we produce them back, okay, so as the image is formed. So H is an object, let us say AB, and A dash B dash is the image formed. Let us say H dash is the image. Now here we assume that the image is at the near point. See, the near point we call as D. Okay. Now we have to derive the equation for the magnification. Now see here, magnification due to lens is m is equal to v by u. Okay, m is equal to v by u. Now see, 1 by f is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Okay. Now, so what is 1 upon u? You can write as 1 upon v minus 1 upon f. Okay. Now see, if I multiply by v, see, I want in this form, m is equal to v by u. So multiply by v on both sides. So that's why it is v into 1 by u, v into 1 by v minus 1 by f. Now see, v upon u is this v upon 1 by v. Okay, v upon f. Now see, here the image is at a near point. So we assume v is equal to minus d. D shows the near point. Now m upon v is, v upon u is m. See, v has minus minus f. So 1 plus d by f. So for simple microscope, when the image is formed at a near point, okay, see the magnification, okay, is equal to m is equal to 1 plus d by f. D is a near point, okay, that we have discussed earlier. So this is about the simple microscope when the image is formed at the near point. See, the magnification is given as equal to m is equal to 1 plus d by f. Now see, next we have to see when in simple microscope when the image is formed at an infinite. Now see, when lens was not present, see the image is formed near point. See, object height is h. See, at near point, let us say the angle formed at near point is theta 0, so we can write tan theta 0 is h upon d. Now we also know that, see, when the object is placed at f, okay, in front of a convex lens, see the refracted ray will go parallel, okay, and image will be formed at the infinite. So at that time, let us say, see the object makes angle theta I. Okay, now we have placed the object at f in front of a convex lens, so we can write tan theta is equal to h upon f. So we can, here we have used tan theta 0 is h upon d, whereas here tan theta I is h upon. See, when theta is small, okay, when theta is small, we can write tan theta is theta, okay, or we can write theta 0 is h upon d, whereas here theta I is h upon f. Now see the magnification, okay, there is an angular magnification. Okay, angular magnification is theta I see why angular magnification we are taking in terms of angle. Okay, theta I by theta h, that is h upon f upon theta 0 is h upon d. Okay, so this is how the image is formed. This is the equation of the magnification when the image is formed at an infinite. Now, this is about simple microscope. Now, what are the limitations of the simple microscope? Now, see the magnification of simple microscope, we have seen m is equal to d upon f, where f is the focal length of the convex lens we use. Now, see, to get larger magnification, we want to increase, we cannot change the near point, or we have to decrease the focal length of the lens. But there also will be some limitation beyond which we cannot decrease the focal length of the lens. So in that case, it will pose some limitation, okay, on the magnification of simple microscope. So to get the larger magnification, okay, we have to think of a compound microscope. Now see the next we have to see about compound microscope. See, simple microscope uses one convex lens, whereas compound microscope uses two convex lens. First is the objective, that is called f0 or f4 or eyepiece fp. Okay, now in a compound microscope there are two lenses. One is the objective, which has a focal length f0, and eyepiece, which has a focal length fe. Now see, in a compound microscope, fe is greater than f0. Okay, fe is greater than f0. Now let us say here we have two lenses. Okay, one is the objective, lens 1, and second lens be eyepiece. Now see, when we discuss the 6 diagrams for convex lens, we saw that when object is placed between f and 2f of a convex lens, see, we get a larger image. Again, by condition which we used in the ray diagram, first ray parallel to the principal axis, after reflection it will pass through f on the other side, and when the ray passes through optical center, okay, we get the larger image. Okay, so see here AB is the object, okay, H, and this A1 B1 is the image formed by, okay, now this is HO and this is HI. Okay, now HO is the object, A1 B1 HI. See, that is the image formed by object. Okay. Now let us say it makes angle beta. Okay. Now what we can easily see that this height and this height will be equal. Okay. This height and this height will be equal. So this is about the image formed by the first lens, that is objective. Okay. Now secondly, we know that we have seen that when the object is placed within the f of a convex lens, the larger image is formed, which is virtual, erect and obvious, larger than the object. Now, so this is our eyepiece. Okay. Now see, we can say this is the HFE. Now see here, this length. Okay. See, this is a center to focus. So this length will be focal length FO. Okay. FO is the focal length of the object. Now how the image is formed? By eyepiece. Let us see. See the first ray. Okay. Now see, when the ray passes through the convex lens, okay, we have to see that. Okay, we can draw another image from Y, because the limitation here is the space. Now F and 2F. See, this is F0. See, as I told, when object is placed between F and 2F, AB, okay, and second ray will pass through the optical center, so you will get the larger image, that is A1 E1. Okay. Now see here, this length will be equal to focal length FO. Okay. Why? So this is the distance between the center and the focal length. Even AB is the object, that is HO. So this height also we can calculate HU. Now see, in convex, in compound microscope, what we have talked is, see, the eyepiece is larger than the objective. Okay. Eyepiece is larger than the object. Now let us see how the image is formed by eyepiece. Now see, we have to adjust the eyepiece in such a way. See, this image formed by the first one within the F of eyepiece. Okay, so now we can complete the diagram. Okay, see the first ray parallel to the principal axis, it will pass through F. Okay. And second ray, now again it is diverging. Okay, but when we produce them, so A2 B2, okay, see here, eyes, so we say the A2 B2 is the image formed by the eyepiece. Now see, A1 H0 is the height of the object. A1 B1 image formed objective. A2 B2 is the image formed by eyepiece. Now let us say this angle we call as beta. Okay. Now see, from the diagram we can see tan beta is H0 upon F0. What is H0? Height of the object. F0 is the focal length of the object. So H0, F0, tan beta. Now here, see, tan beta is HI. Okay, HI is the height of the image formed by objective. Okay, so tan beta is hi. Now see the distance between first second focus of the objective and the first focus of the eyepiece is called tube length, that is L. Okay, that is called L. So that is hi upon L. Hi is tan L tan beta. Now see the magnification due to objective is hi upon ho, that we can write L tan beta upon f0 tan beta. Okay, so h. Okay, now let us see again. See the image formed by the objective is, see the first image is A1 B1, that we call as AI. Hi, see it makes angle beta. Now see from this diagram, see tan beta is h0 upon f0. So h0 is f0 tan beta. Okay. Now similarly tan beta is hi by L. So hi will be L tan beta. Now see the magnification due to objective hi upon ho. Hi is L tan beta upon f0 tan beta 0. Tan beta is cancelled. M0 is L upon. Now see the magnification due to eyepiece. Okay. Now see D upon Fe, that we have proved just now. See when the object is at, when the image is formed at the infinity. Now see for a combination of the lens we have proved M is equal to M1 plus M1 M2. So here also it will be MO into ME L upon F0 into D upon F. Yeah, upon D upon. So this is how we can obtain the equation for the magnification due to compound microscope. See L is a tube length, F0 is the focal length of the objective, D is a, see the near point where the image is formed at the infinite, okay, and FE is the focal length of the eyepiece. So this is about the compound microscope. It uses two lenses. One is the objective, second is called eyepiece. What we can see here, what we see here, the focal length of the eyepiece is larger than focal length of the objective. And we have proved that magnification due to a compound microscope is M0 into ME, MO in L upon F0 upon D upon. So this is about compound microscope. So this is about compound microscope. Now see the another optical instrument we have to see is a telescope. Now we know telescope is used to study the celestial objects, okay, like stars, okay. Now see the telescope categorized into two parts. One is a refracting telescope, which uses lens, and reflecting telescope, okay, which uses combination of lens and mirror. Okay. Now see the refracting telescope uses only lens, whereas reflecting telescope uses both combination of lens and mirror. Now we start with the refracting telescope. Okay, in a refracting telescope there are two lenses, two convex lenses. First is the objective, focal length f0. Second is the eyepiece. Okay. Now here see the focal length of objective is more than focal length of eyepiece. Okay. Now see the refracting telescope uses two convex lens. One is the objective, focal length is f0, and second is the eyepiece, focal length is f0. Now as we know, see the telescope is used to see the object which are at a very large distance like stars. Okay. Now see, this is our first lens objective. Now we know that rays coming from very large distance, what we call as a paraxial rays, okay, parallel to the principal axis, okay, and meet at F. So here also for our convenience, okay, though they are not perfectly parallel to the lens, we assume that after refraction they meet at F on the objective. Okay, now let us say, see this A1, B1, okay, is an image formed by the objective. Okay, now let us say it traverses angle alpha. Okay, see the angle subtended by the first image or the image formed by the objective traverses angle alpha. Now see here the image is formed at focus, so that distance will be f0. Now see here in a telescope, FE is smaller than FO. Okay, now we adjust second lens in such a way. See the image formed by the first lens, okay, is within the focal length of eyepiece. Now how the image is formed? Let us say first ray parallel to the principal axis. After reflection, okay, so what we see, the final image is formed. Okay, now, okay, this is how the image is formed. Now the angle subtended with the final image is beta. Okay, angle subtended is beta. Now see tan alpha, we can say A1 B1 upon F0. Okay, and when angle is small, within alpha is A1 B1 upon F0. Now see the final image, okay, subtend angle beta, so tan beta A1 B1 upon Fe. What is Fe? The focal length of the eyepiece. So beta we can write as A1 B1 upon Fe. Now see the magnification due to telescope is given as beta upon alpha, that is A1 B1 upon Fe upon A1 B1 upon F4, that is F4 upon Fe. Okay, now this is the formula for the magnification of a telescope. Now see again, see the refracting telescope uses two lenses, one is the objective and second is the eyepiece. Okay, now here see the paraxial rays meet at F on the other side of the convex lens, so A1 B1 is the image formed by the objective. Okay, now see the eyepiece is placed in such a way that the image formed by the first lens lies within the focal length. So the final image is formed here, okay, A2 B2. Now see the tan alpha is A1 B1 upon F0. Again tan beta is A1 B1 upon Fe. Okay, when angle is small we can say tan theta is theta, that is tan alpha is alpha. Similarly tan beta is beta, that is A1 B1 upon F. Now see the magnification is given as beta upon alpha. Okay, okay, beta upon alpha, that will give the result FO upon F. So this is about the astronomical telescope, or this uses only lens, that is a refracting telescope. Okay, so this is about the optical instrument. Today we have talked about simple microscope and compound microscope. We also discuss about the telescope. Next time we'll proceed further in the lesson. Thank you.